Welcome back to HGC North America. We are gearing up for the next series that'll be coming your way. April Fools, it's Europe! We'll be setting up for Fnatic as they take on Diamond Skin. My name is Trixler. Over there, we got Caldor.
Didn't you just miss half of your joke?
Did I miss half of it? What was the other half of it?
What did you tell me yesterday how you wanted to open up the joke? There was a very different one.
I forget. I don't know. That's it.
We wouldn't do that to you.
It's good, though. They probably thought it was funny. Oh, yeah. Welcome to HGC North America. I would never do that to you. It's HGC Europe. Ha, ha, ha. On to the standings we go.
Much better.
As we're checking out our top 8 here. So at the very top, we currently have Dignitas 9-1, but we are about to loom over to Fnatic, who is currently 6-3, finding their mojo, it seems, against Tricked Esports with a big victory. But can they do it against Diamond Skin, who themselves have beaten Tricked Esports in the past and look to be stepping up their gameplay?
Yeah, right now Diamond Skin definitely looks a lot better than they have in the past few weeks. The problem, of course, still is they go up against Fnatic, and Fnatic seems to be a bit of a tall order for them. And from everything that we've seen from Fnatic so far, everything that we heard from all the other teams, I would still expect a pretty one-sided series here. But then again, Diamond Skin had a couple of very cool showings where they were able to show up on just play opponents to the wall, where we expected a clean winner.
That is very true, man. We'll keep an eye on Fnatic and see if they're able to continue those clean wins, or if Diamond Skin will be able to answer back. Let's go ahead and check out the schedule. For those that may have missed the action earlier, you should definitely check out the VOD. Some fun stuff happened during that series. Method versus Team Liquid.
Tell me about
it was good. It's some good stuff, man. Things happen for sure. Team Liquid got the win with a 3-1. Team Liquid looking pretty darn dominant lately. Really bringing out those matches, taking Method to the wire. Again, another 3-1 that doesn't look as good as the package entailed. Method played very strong in that series. Later on, North America coming at you. Tempo Storm and No Tomorrow with Team 12 and Heroes of Hearth ending the day.
Yeah, Team 12 having a bit of a rough time yesterday in particular. They're going up against Gale Force, but today another opportunity for them to get a win this weekend. But of course, our focus here is on Fnatic versus Diamond Skin now. And one of the things that's really important here is, once more, how much can you adapt to what your opponent plays? We saw it in the last series. At the beginning, Method absolutely willing to play around a couple of those Garrosh plays, for example, and allowing Sprout Billy to get Garrosh. And then after the first game, even though they actually lost it as well, but they immediately said, okay, listen, this is just not going to happen again. And with Diamond Skin, we have another fantastic Garrosh player, and Tricked, for example, did not adapt to that, and they got punished for it.
Lots of Garrosh and lots of Diablo definitely coming in that series. But let's go ahead and check out the players first and see what they think is going to be coming in the series that is about to pop out.
We're not completely sure what to expect from Fnatic because, like us, they've changed their drafter over the break, so it might be a little bit of a different Fnatic that we face with Benny drafting instead of Quacknix. As for how we view the matchup in terms of what we think will happen, I don't really know if we'll win, but I think we'll at least have some sort of shot. Like, I think as a team we are getting better, and even if we lose, I don't think it will be a complete stomp.
I don't know how fearful we are of Diamond Skin. They did play really good versus Tricked and took them down, but then again Tricked has a new shot caller and drafter, and going into the first week of HGC, it really comes down a lot to drafts and such, because you don't really know what to expect from the enemy team. In this sense, I feel like Diamond Skin had the better drafts and better preparation than Tricked did. So I don't know if we're too scared about Diamond Skin, but they're definitely looking better than part 1.
Diamond Skin definitely has adjusted their drafts, and it was very pleasing to see. One of the heroes that I actually really enjoyed seeing from them was Junkrat. Darkmonk is once again bringing it to the table and willing to be pretty devastating with the hero. And then, of course, as mentioned by Caldor earlier, that Garrosh from Robodoba, absolutely destroying.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I'm going to have a focus on. First of all, is Diamond Skin going to come out and pick it if available? And how will Fnatic react to it? Because, as we said, in the first game, everything is basically all right. But once that you start struggling against a certain hero picker, when you realize even in this series an opponent has a certain impact with what they choose, then you need to make in the second game, in the third game, a few adaptations to your own draft style and say, okay, we're going to take some tools away from them that they just excel with. And some teams have been extremely stubborn with their draft patterns, and usually that ends up being a huge problem later on. I would like Fnatic to react to that and to be flexible if that is the case, but only the series can tell. And also I want to see what exactly is Diamond Skin going to do here, because they still have to show that they can be consistent on that higher level that they've now reached.
Which is somewhere where Fnatic is starting to hit once again as they have hit their stride. Let's go ahead and go to Battleground number 1 in this best of 5 series and see which team will reign supreme. At the very top of the series here, we're going to go to Towers of Doom. Fnatic with the choice, it looks like we're not going to Braxis nor Dragonshire as those Battlegrounds have been banned out.
Yeah, and we have also Towers of Doom taken as the first map right now. So in this case, Diamond Skin is going to have first ban and also first pick. Again, we're talking about a potential Garrosh first pick here. We've been talking about Junkrat also a lot, so that's another hero that could be picked up from Fnatic. We're going to see how they're going to try and get into this match now. But I'm excited for this. First of all, I want to see more from Fnatic, and I also want to see how Diamond Skin measures up against them.
And your heart also starts to beat a little bit more whenever you have these lower tier seeds, these number 7, number 8, starting to finally find their groove and looking a little more confident, and you want to see them in those big matchups. So definitely a little bit excited, and a great way to end our weekend here in week 7 for HGC Europe, seeing where Diamond Skin exactly is as a team. Diamond Skin answers up with a Medivh immediately as their ban. Fnatic looking to drop their ban as well. Will it be that Garrosh, or are they going to let it slip on through for now? Ooh, you also can't forget about Ross Megan as Tracer. That is true.
Yeah, and I'm absolutely okay if they go for a different ban here. They don't have to do that, as we said about Garrosh, you don't have to do that right away at the start of the series. Just, if you feel like another hero is big enough for a threat, continue banning that in the first game, that's totally cool. But later on, as you progress into game number 2, number 3, you have to reevaluate, okay, does this still hold true? Do we still want to ban out the same heroes, or do we have to make adjustments? So Fnatic at this point, identifying that Tracer is of course very strong on the battleground. They themselves have picked it in the past. We've seen a lot from Dignitas, and they get rid of her. So no Tracer for game number 1. And now with the first pick, how is Diamond Skin going to react? Are we going to see that focus onto the main tank, or are they going to open up with a different play? They go into Malfurion. We've seen the support side. Hasn't actually happened in the last few matches, but it's still, by some teams, the preferred choice, going into very early Malfurion and then giving Stukov over to the opponent. But of course, Fnatic has now a variety of openings here.
And I'm curious which variety will be the answer for them. They've picked up a lot of Genji in the past, seems to be one of their main heroes that they've been picking up. But if they pick up that Stukov into a Genji, something that Garrosh is still available. Garrosh still a good pickup, but Fnatic also on this battleground do enjoy their Diablo.
Yeah.
So they might be willing to give it up.
This is actually a really good point, because if you play Diablo, you could do that. The one problem that you have with an early Diablo pick in this situation, though, is that your opponent can still go straight into Garrosh, and then Diablo, while still potentially being a good pick for you, will be in a little bit more trouble since you don't have Diablo with a Medivh, so the portal can't save you once that throw came in. We've seen Dignitas play with Diablo and extend it with Tacita, so when that throw happens, you have the extra armor that is able to keep you alive a bit longer for your support to step in and save your life. But so far, Fnatic hasn't really prioritized the front line yet. Genji as a first pick, and then together with Stukov, a pretty solid setup here, making sure that they're getting one of the top supports. Garrosh then picked by Diamond Skin, as expected.
To build on top of that, the Tacita that you mentioned also good with the Hanzo, so we might see Diamond Skin move into that with a double support. But for now, Fnatic banning Sonya. Sonya will not be in that top lane for either of our teams, which is interesting. Means Fnatic doesn't want to pick it up, which we've seen Bad Benny played at Sonya a few times, so it would appear they're looking to get maybe a little bit more durability so that Blaze can suddenly come online for them. Diamond Skin on their side, you think about what they want to get rid of. Is Malthael worth the ban here, or is anyone else that might stand out for you?
I would still, I would still think about banning out Diablo. Of course, there's other heroes that you can ban out as well, where you can target other roles. You could target the offlane, for example. For now, they are trying to make sure that the Genji Avatar duo is not going to appear in the game, which is also a valid point. They're leaving the tanks open. Fnatic still the question, do they want to go into Diablo? But even if Garrosh gets the throw in, if Stukov gets the silence, then usually Breeze should be able to get out of it.
Fnatic, will you move into this Diablo? Are we going to see it here? From Breeze. And what mage are we getting from Mane? That's always the question. Are we going to get the Gul'dan to chunk down the Garrosh? Be annoying. Will we get a little bit more mobile plays? Could we have the Li Ming maybe come in a little bit, get that reset composition?
Don't forget, Maiev is still open.
Oh, that is true.
This is also something that Mene could still play here.
True.
So we could still see a Maiev setup for them. They have a Stukov with this. That would already help. And that, again, there's several avenues of what they could do right now. Maiev is already furthering one kind of playstyle that you have here. But yeah, ETC comes in and Zeratul in this case even. Okay, so Benny actually for the second time now on Zeratul, and they're trying to use that again. Question now is how Diamond Skin reacts to it, but we still have yet to see which hero Mene takes, and that could still potentially be a Maiev, but it's more likely that we're going to get one of these majors.
Cool to see the ETC again though here from Fnatic.
Comes
Even
back
with the Zeratul. Hang on, I thought maybe the Diablo Zeratul would have been a good combo, but ETC?
Yeah, I think the ETC, again, think about what we talked about the last time they played. ETC against Garrosh, that Breeze always said, this is one of the weaknesses of Garrosh. When Garrosh came into the game, he talked a lot about it and said that if Garrosh oversteps, if you play ETC and you play it right, you can punish him for it.
Well, there's ETC. We'll see if he's able to get those power slides if Garrosh were to throw him. Diamond Skin thinking about their 4th and 5th pickup. Is this a world where we see that Junkrat come online already here for Diamond Skin? Could be helpful about locking down the ETC and the Stukov, but they decide to move into a little bit more passive play. Go for the global with the Dahaka, and the Greymane comes out.
Greymane and Dehaka, and last pick now for Fnatic. Okay, I'm really curious about this one, because I could totally see, again, a mage being played here, but maybe Mene has something else prepared. And last time, also coming back to what I said just a few seconds ago, Fnatic, when Garrosh was chosen, they picked ETC, that was against Tricked, and that was also a game where they won. So Breeze was able to completely negate that.
Sweet!
Jaina taken. And with Zeratul, that's of course a nice wombo that they have, going from a Void Prison into a Ring of Frost. We've seen a couple of Jaina games already out of Mene, so they are really willing to bring all of these majors back. Kel'Thas has been played a couple of times. Fnatic in general, just really the team that has the most mage diversity that we've seen so far.
And don't forget, also with Stukov having that root at level 13 in Silence, easier for that Ring of Frost to follow up onto as well. Jaina just having the perfect setup between two different heroes, even ETC in a mosh pit. Jaina just fits nicely in here. If one of the teammates are able to land the alley so he can bring in the oop, it's just a matter of making it actually land. And Mene, of course, loving to play the Jaina, is going to be there with that Ring of Frost.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be there. It's going to try and nail it down, and we're going to see who's going to take that first series. And I feel the first game already is going to tell us a lot here. If Diamond Skin can play on the same level now, if Fnatic is going to be dominant in that series, first map usually a pretty good indicator for that. Towers of Doom also one of the most played maps that we had in part 1 of phase 1. Therefore, all of the teams very familiar with it. No clear advantage goes to either side in that sense. So I'm excited for this one. It's going to be a good series. Last one was great, and this one is also going to tell us a lot more about the standings, especially since Diamond Skin is one of the teams fighting to see, do we go to the Crucible? Are we able to move just barely out of it?
Well, let's go into it here. Game number 1, Towers of Doom in this best of 5 series. Will Diamond Skin with that Garrosh and Dahaka be able to show the confidence to take down the likes of Fnatic, a team that seems to have found their mojo once again? Here we go, game number 1.
And over to the left side of the map in game number 1 of Fnatic against Diamond Skin, we see Mene on Jaina, Quacknix on Genji, Breeze on ETC, Smaxy on Stukov, and Zeratul played by Bad Benny.
On the right, in the red, Darkmok will be playing the Greymane, Dahaka played by Nande, Wolfjo on Malfurion, Robodoba showing off the Garrosh, and Rossmeg will be your Hanzo.
Should be a good one here.
What a world we live in, by the way. That now that Arcana has moved over to the Warrior role, both of our Australian players that have come to Europe are Warriors for 2 different teams.
Yeah, good point. Thing is, Warrior role is oftentimes also one of the most demanding, since a lot of them are also shot callers. We talked about that just recently. That's not necessarily the case for Method, but it's definitely true for Diamond Skin. It has gone to a point where talking about Robodoba, he's already in trouble a bit. And that showcased quite nicely what Breeze was talking about, but Quacknix is also paying for that. Okay, so let's untangle this a bit. Garrosh moving out up to the front, and Breeze immediately trying to push him into a bad spot. Sliding in, pushing him out, follow-up damage by Jaina, and then Quacknix trying to go in and confirm the kill. Couldn't quite do that, and found himself actually in a tricky position where he just barely moved away before he was killed himself.
Rossmeg also moving into the Q build here, moving into the Stormbow, attempting to get that all built up. Looking for a little bit more safer poke for him on that Hanzo, allowing for Garrosh and crew to also get that solo damage in. And once you finish that quest and get the extra damage applied to it, it's helpful for trying to delete a target. So definitely the plan here. Let Robodoba find those picks, have Malfurion follow up into that route, or even Dahak get the drag.
And coming back to Robodoba as a player, now we talked about this earlier, but Robodoba has started as the main tank and shot caller. It was exactly what Diamond Skin looked for. They looked for a new player that could shot call for them, and ideally would also hold the tank position. That's normally what you want. And he has now also taken over the drafting, or at least a big part of it, simply because he feels that if he has a bigger impact in the draft itself, he can more so dictate the way that the game is going and the way the game has to be played then later on, which makes the shot calling easier for him. And that's something where Diamond Skin felt, okay, if we make these changes happen, then all of a sudden we're going to have a bit of an easier time here. And so far, to be honest, it's working out for them.
Fnatic came out and get aggressive. Bree goes in, gets the power slide. Here's the knockback. Mane follows up with the Blizzard combo, and there's a Cone of Cold. Mane getting the kill, and they also clear out the Sappers, meaning Fnatic can open up this bottom wall, as Darkhawk will have a hard time clearing it out.
Really aggressive setup here by Fnatic again, and we saw that already the last time that we had them in HGC. They're going in and just try to drop targets from the get-go. Well done here with Breeze aggressively looking for these openings, just hiding in the vision and then going in for the quick slides, and this time it was Hanzo who was the target. They're able to take him out and already setting themselves ahead slightly with half a level lead, as they are opening up with another potential kill, going straight for Greymane, and that should be the end of it. Down he goes.
That is disgusting. Power slide into a silence, into a blizzard. Oh my gosh, can I walk away? Oh wait, I'm dead. That's exactly what's going through Diamond Skin's mind right now as Fnatic gets 2 kills, and right before the 3 altar phase 2, 10 seconds before they pop up.
Yeah, disgusting is a good word for it. And it's not really like it's necessarily something new, but the way they are coordinating it here in the early game makes it look extremely powerful, of course. Which indeed it is. You have to be very careful, and you have to make sure that you know where your opponent is positioned. And they're making the play for the top right now, down to the bottom. Genji is interrupting. Quackney should probably just let this one slide. And that's what he does.
Yep, it's all about grabbing this too, as Fnatic is able to take the top right. Stukov will grab the top left. It won't have a lead for Fnatic as they go up 36 to 32, and it's all about going back to the lanes. And Fnatic, after these wave clears, are about to hit level 7. Good news for Diamond Skin, our Sappers are about to spawn up pretty soon. That'll be a good chance for them to start fighting back and maybe set up an evade on their opponent, but they do have to be careful. Obviously, with Zeratul sharking around, they want to make sure if they get that engaged, it's Dahaka with the upper hands, we can land that drag.
Yep, and with level 7 talent advantage, it can of course also be a bit more aggressive. ETC is still roaming between the 2 lanes here, and also showing a bit. And that really put a bit of a damper on Diamond Skin's aggression they usually want to show. Talking about aggression, Dahaka comes in here, gets spotted, and taken out again. So much damage output from Jaina alone. Breeze, no problem for him walking away from this one. The rotation is already coming towards the mid lane in form of Stukov, so Diamond Skin had to be careful here. But this early game is definitely not going well for the team in red. 3 deaths against them, as is.
Diamond Skin might have to change their name to Bruise Skin. They're kind of getting beat up right now by Fnatic, and I'm feeling really bad about it.
A little bit of aloe vera is going to deal with that.
I'm allowed to say that because I care.
I know you do.
Breeze coming around for possibly another power slide combo. What's been good about this engagement, and something that you need to notice if you're a Stukov player, is that he's dropping the silence at a point to where it's behind the target that's being landed. So if they want to escape, they're walking through a silence longer. So for them to disengage, they have to step up into the team and then attempt to get away. They're putting a lot of pressure on whoever the target is, and watch for that in your next rotation because it's been really well placed here by Smexy.
Yeah, all of them have actually done a fantastic job with that. And it's also Mino, of course, with a follow-up damage. But it just shows again the synergy of those players. 3 kills against 0. They are moving through that bot lane. Level ahead more than that. And now we're having 5 versus 5 soon to be. Again, they go for the Haka. A lot of damage already on None there. Has to pop the Essence. Drak doesn't connect. Robodoba trying to make a play for Zeratul. That doesn't quite work out. And they interrupt Wolfjaw on the channel. Waiting now, of course, for the cooldowns, especially for Jaina. Have to work around those a lot since she's the main damage in the setup.
Fnatic can also play the poke game. They have 2 great pokers here. 3! Between Quacknex, between Jaina, being played by Mane, and then Zeratul as well with that Wormhole can go in and drop down a couple of cleaves as well. Quintus goes in for that harassment, kites away. Sounds pops out as Dahaka goes for the burrow. Robodova tries to step up and interrupt it, but actually gets completely knocked away by Breeze. Well played there. That 10 is looming, and Fnatic is just buying time. Diamond Skin has to make the play now.
Yeah, interrupt is already happening, but Smexy goes down, and that was well done here. On the other hand, the question, can Fnatic maybe get the counter kill? Garrus already down as Jaina eliminates him, and Genji is also there. Quatni's on the way out, dying, and Wolfjo again trying to get the channel. Here comes the Void Prison though, as we have the level 10s in play. The Ring of Frost, and that could be the kill against Roswell. Ben needs to get out of here. Zeratul gets torn apart, and Darkmog also about to escape as Jaina is in trouble. Breeze is trying to shield, but with everyone this low, Diamond Skin still survives and is able to get the channel. They got the third kill here. The level 10's just not enough to uptick that numeric advantage that Diamond Skin had over Fnatic.
Diamond Skin able to find that moment we were looking for. They had to do it before 10 hit for Fnatic. Nande comes in with the drag. They find Stukov. They lock him down, and they clean him up. There you go, Diamond Skin. That's what we were missing from you. That's what we saw from you last week, that slight aggression and the ability to find kills. Now, with that being said, Fnatic gets 10. Diamond Skin about to hit 10 as well. One of the reasons why that was successful for Diamond Skin is because they were trying to force a fight. On the other hand, Fnatic was not. They were just trying to poke, and it just happened to have Smexy get out of position. That drag came in. So I'm more curious to see what happens when we go to level 10 and have a straight-up team fight.
Yeah, exactly. A straight-up team fight on 10 around heroic abilities is going to look different, but for Diamond Skin, that was definitely a big victory here. Well done getting these kills, and also making sure that Fnatic is not completely running away with a snowball. And that would have nearly been an avalanche. If they get the kills here too, and they get another turn in, or another alter channel, that would have spelled doom for Diamond Skin nearly already. But as it happens, right now, still a level advantage, roughly, for Fnatic, but of course the game is a bit more open at this point. And for Diamond Skin, it's going to be interesting also what Malfurion's talent choice is going to be. We've seen a Tranquility today already. Might get a second one.
Bad Benny really showing how annoying Zeratul can be, by the way. Constantly taking away some experience from his opponents because he's clearing these lanes out faster than Dahaka can, which is odd to say, which has gotten this level 12. There was about 5 to 6 minions that were actually missed out on the middle lane, and the turret's also being cleaned up. So Zeratul doing his best here to keep up the soak, and again, delaying more experience. Some about to be lost in that top lane.
Double altar about to be on the map. We see Twilight Dream, by the way, picked up by Malfurion, so not our second Tranquility here just yet. Robodoba.
Wow.
Like, I'm not quite sure what to think about this one.
And Bad Betty just stares him in the face. Yeah, you missed.
The funniest thing to me is that even after that happens, he just still doesn't move.
He just completely stays still.
Completely ignores him.
I probably would have panicked to drop the Void Prison. I'm not going to lie. Just straight up just drop it.
Yeah. So, no, good job there. But, yeah, the miss in this case. Robodoba once again trying it here. The bot lane now as the kill about Dahaka might actually happen, and Dahaka indeed goes down. Jaina takes him apart. And that's another kill for Fnatic. The fifth one now. It's 13 in their hands, as is already. And that was also a 4 versus 5 setup with Bad Benny still pushing the top lane and starting to put the pressure onto the bell tower itself.
Dahaka just struggling with the sounds coming out there, and you can't blame him. Dahaka, one of the things that you do is usually take that front loaded fight or drop into a tunnel or a burrow so you can get that essence, give you a little bit of health, and then you kite into your teammates. But he just doesn't have that option. There he was able to get the essence off, but he couldn't get the burrow in because of Stukov dropping the songs right afterwards, and he's going to have to find a way to make sure that happens. One way that can occur is if he comes in for a flank and get on the back line instead, and that'll make Smexy play a little bit more reserved, but until then, gotta find a better way for Dahaka to get through these fights.
Yeah, and Diamond Skin has also needs to find a way now to, of course, get the next talent. So far, the altars haven't been announced yet, so that is okay for them. The problem is really, if you look at the map and also at the pressure that we see down here now, with the arrow missing, there's a lot of map pressure against Diamond Skin, and they're trying to offset that with a fight now. The problem that I see with it, though, is it just doesn't work the way they want to engage in this. But now they have taken damage at the top bell tower, they have taken damage at the bottom bell tower, they are talent behind, the altars are being announced. Things are really not looking pretty for Diamond Skin.
And what's worse too, with them using the Dragon's Arrow and the isolation to try and find a kill and not getting anything, Fnatic is completely well equipped here to move in for the fight. That VP is up and available, and Bad Benny's trying to find the position. He'll have to wait for the Sonic Arrow to expire, but Fnatic just takes the time to grab these sappers because they know they have full position on Diamond Skin here for control of the altar.
The problem that I have is if Fnatic wins another fight, they can easily take bell towers. And even outside of that, the pressure play that Bad Benny has put onto the top lane in particular has already started to hurt Diamond Skin. So things need to change soon for Diamond Skin to find their way back into a rhythm here. And this altar might be a good way to change it up. They have only a couple of seconds left until Isolation and also Hanzo's arrow are back in play. But at the same time, we have Garrosh rooted down. X marks the spot, and down he goes. Garrosh eliminated, no chance for him. Void Prison stops Malfurion, and here comes the Ring of Frost. Dodged by the Ice Block. Well done here, but that is not going to save the old geezer. Wolfjoy is still going to fall here. Jaina confirming the kill, and that's a double kill against Diamond Skin that they're going to have a hard time to recover from.
And Breeze the knockback to interrupt that Twilight Dream just in time as well to make sure nothing can be turned around there for Diamond Skin. Nande finds a Bad Benny and his Smexy, but he's kind of getting bullied around, pushed into a wall at the same time. Man, thinking about chasing him, but decides to back up. He'll let Breeze go first, but with the tunnel, Nande is able to escape. With that all being said and done, 5 more shots go over to Fnatic, and they'll take a lead here of 28-23.
And also they have another 5 bell towers on the map. So first of all, as you already said, it increases the shots that Diamond Skin has not taken, but more so it's the map advantage that we have for Fnatic that really concerns me when it comes to Diamond Skin. Genji, on the other hand, dying there was not really planned. So Quacknix caught by Diamond Skin. That was definitely not quite on the menu, but well done by the red team. So maybe a chance for them to sneak their way back into this. Keep in mind the level 16 talent has just dropped into Fnatic hands, so they have another slight advantage that they can now utilize to gain even more control.
Yeah, they're taking their time here, doing their best to protect, but not committing fully, especially with Nande disappearing on the battleground. He was coming in for a flank. Zeratul might be able to catch him here. Goes in for the body block, but with the Dark Swarm coming out, Nande is able to seep on by. Dragon's Arrow popped out as well, and Fnatic is actually kind of happy with that trade. No one falling victim, able to take a big heroic away from their opponents.
That was actually a really heads-up error that we just saw. That was well played by Roskmek. That saved the Haka, because if that arrow doesn't connect with ETC, he power slides in. And if you really wanted to, if Reese really wanted to confirm the kill, he could have just mosh pit. But at that point, the arrow stopping the power slide was the most important part. The Haka was trying to get even more out of the situation by connecting a drag, which then didn't work out. But that definitely saved him. So well done by Hanzo. 30 seconds, and then we're going to have the arrow back. So definitely a worthy trade. Keep in mind, 3 altars on the map now. And Diamond Skin and Experience still in play. 16 for them now too, so even talent fights once again for the next objective.
I was ready to say that. I've been feeling like Fnatic's kind of been dominating this map, but then I look at all the information. It's 7-4 in kills, 28-23,
Yep.
3 altar phase, and we're even in Experience. Diamond Skin is definitely hanging in there. Breeze coming in for another power slide, sees the Dark Mog, but he's able to cleave away. And now we're going to have 1 altar grab the top left and 1 on the bottom. I think Quack should get interrupted. Yeah, here's Robodoba, and Haka run to the top right.
Yeah, first at the top left has been taken. Zeratul actually not trying to go to the right side of the map and interrupt the Haka. Instead, he's already making his way down to the bot lane. But the potential of a wombo combo here is, of course, what really concerns me for Diamond Skin now. Because another good setup with the Void Prison is all that they need here to get a kill or even a double kill. Especially Roskmek and Darkmo need to be careful here. And 2 of the squishies in the setup now. The Haka is going to start to make his way in soon. And Mena is just waiting in the back. He knows that he needs to be the one just taking it a bit easy. Genji already waiting at the top. The Haka grabbing another wave up towards the top lane. And here's the force against Breeze as he starts to channel. Gets interrupted by Hanzo.
Really good push there by the Haka. He can even look to grab the middle one too, and they've tied up that Experience. Indomitable comes out into a Dragon's Arrow, but Garrosh not having the time of his life. Gets picked off. Here's Nande, slightly a bit too late. Here comes the VP as well. We have the Ring of Frost, but Quack and Mane is not quite in a position to follow it up, so we're going to let it go. Quack on the other side drops a little bit of damage, and we're going to have the Ice Block just to dodge out on that Ring of Frost, while Diamond Skin attempts to fight back in a 4v5.
Yeah, Ring of Frost being used there as well, not connecting too much. Wolfjoy with a couple of really nice ice blocks here. Roskmek goes down on the other hand. That was a nice engage, and the double kill as Zeratul connects with Malfurion and drops him. Darkmog is also falling. A quick triple kill after we saw the original one against Garrosh. And now Nanda's gonna fall too. A clean team wipe as Fnatic is just obliterating Diamond Skin in that battle and claims the altar.
And we come back to the point that you mentioned earlier. Now bell towers can be grabbed. You have one on the bottom is half health. The one on the top is half there as well. Fnatic goes in for the early Experience too by grabbing this turret in the middle lane, and they'll start to chunk down slightly on this fort. Will they be able to grab it? It looks like it, as we still have a decent amount of time before Diamond Skin spawns. Bad Benny already working on that bottom lane and Quack in the top. Are they going to go for a play on all 3 altars?
They can't get all 3, but they take the bell tower that had the most HP, the one in the middle. and they still have an easy time to kind of getting the one at the bottom right. And now they may have... Actually, they can get all 3.
They make it really hard also for Diamond Skin to get back because they have to bounce around between the top and the bottom lane. They can go to the middle side here, but the other ones are currently popping in. This is actually a big power play from Fnatic, and they also hit level 20.
I did not expect them to be able to get all 3. I thought they would get 2 and then could take the 3rd one later on whenever. But now this is, of course, a horrible spot because how do you reclaim this one without taking massive damage? They're trying to poke, but Fnatic is already pushing this forward and they still have their wombo available. But then he's now coming in too. And this is just bad news for them. Here comes ETC though, and he's down. Great move by Diamond Skin, taking him apart. But the Haka is dead, the Death Marsh. And during all of this, the shots are still keep coming.
And we drop Diamond Skin down to 9 health. Darkmok might get caught here. Smexy and Quacknix finally secure the kill. Mana also helping out as we're going to have a 2-on-2 trade. Fnatic able to lower Diamond Skin down to 8 shots. And there are 2 altars spawning.
And they also take the camp. So this is starting to become a bit of a checkmate position because what do you deal with first? Can you take the camp down before the altar even spawns? They're trying to do that, not interrupted yet. But this is going to be rough because now they have to defend against those, against the camp, and they have to also make sure that they're not missing out on those altars.
Altar on the bottom starts to be grabbed by Jaina. Rosmig's in a position to bounce off some arrows. Malfurion trying to buy some time here in the middle as well, but Genji jumps straight on top of him while Garrosh is doing his same to taunt down Smexy. Can they get the kill on him? No, he heals up. 1
altar is game, and Wolfjoy is down. Malfurion is dead, and now Rosmig is being attacked. 1 altar is game. It's all that they have to get.
Iceblock comes in. Nande goes in for the drag. Quack running over to his side here, grabbing that bell tower they grabbed earlier. He is still alive, but low. Smexy starts to channel.
Yeah, ETC could do the same thing right now, but they're moving down. There comes the shot against the Haka at the same time now. Smexy, moreover, Doba completely isolated. He has no right to escape from this one. And ETC is going to mosh pit once again. Doba actually moving away. They're not focusing anymore. Fnatic needs... Yeah, there's the channel.
There it is. Zeratul gets in the middle, and there goes the final shots.
Goes in and just says, yeah, you kids keep fighting. I don't care. Like, I'm ending the game right now. I'm done with this.
But Diamond Skin hanging in there for a second, looking like they might be able to start mounting a comeback despite the position they were in. But Fnatic comes out in game number 1 and secures a massive victory here. 15 kills to 7, able to shut down their opponents, and at one point had every single bell tower on the map.
Yeah, for a long time, too. I actually got excited for a second. I was like, Roboto has absolutely no right to escape from this one.
And he tosses against his son.
Yeah, and then they don't follow up on it, and I'm just like, okay, this is actually not looking too bad. And I'm like, 1, 2, 3, 4, wait, didn't they have 5 players? And then all of a sudden the bell tower starts shooting. I'm like, oh, okay.
Those Zeratuls, they're so sneaky.
Zeratul, yeah, it's like he's invisible or something.
Something like that. So Fnatic able to get the win here, looking like they're still in position to be the elites here for HGC. Constantly looking for that spot at the MSB, which is something they've been focusing on. Diamond Skin, while having a good series last weekend, game number 1. Feels like Robodoba had a solid showing, but not the dominant showing that we had last week.
Yeah, not quite. Also because we had so many early kills with all the pressure that was pushed on by the ETC, Stukov, and Jaina composition. It was so many insta-kills. It was really difficult for Diamond Skin to get anything done and also to get into any rhythm in this game. So it was very good micro control also on the side of Fnatic, especially with Zeratul dominating that top lane.
Well, speaking of Fnatic, we have the future schedule for the matches that they'll be facing off against in the next coming weeks. They've already faced off against Dignitas, which was a big one for them. They lost at Series 3-0, but definitely took them to the wire. On this stage, they've also taken Trick Esports with a 3-0, and now they're looking at Diamond Skin. Exciting series coming their way with Method seeming to be back in their footing. You have Zealots, who we think is a very strong team already. Leftovers is growing, and Team Liquid, this is a pretty strong roster for them to face off against.
But to be honest, I think their scores are absolutely impressive. If you think about it, there's an abundance of 3-0s that they've been taking across the board. It just seems to be that at this point, Dignitas is really their nemesis. They haven't taken a single map against them here in the regular play. And of course, that one offset against the Zealots the last time that back then nobody expected, because this was really the time where Zealots were struggling the most. Outside of that, they're performing really well, and they're taking their wins most of the time quite easily with a 3-0.
Yeah, I mean, there was a moment where a lot of people thought Fnatic was going through a slump, but you look at it like that, and it's like, wait a minute, they had like a loss here, a loss there, and a loss there, but like, there's no streak of them just completely failing.
It's mostly just the way that a lot of these games have been going, where if you look at it and you compare to the 2017 Fnatic, and you just don't see the same dominance happening there. But in terms of results, they are actually looking pretty good here, especially with the way that they have now shown up, not only against Diamond Skin here, but just like outside. No, not even that. Even with a game against Dignitas, yes, they've lost the 3 games, but they looked strong in every single one of them.
Well, let's get ready for game number 2 and see if Fnatic continue to steamroll forward as they're still facing off against Diamond Skin, and we'll be going to Infernal